Welcome to Spenny and the Nets, episode 247. We're going to have a special guest later on in the show, but for now, it's yours truly, solo episode. And we start today with a very special announcement. It's March. So shout out to all my college basketball fans out there. Typically, I'm not a big NCAA guy in hoops or football, really any sport for that matter. I'm a UMass alum. Okay, we haven't had a good basketball program since Chaz Williams was the point guard. For those of you who know who that is, congratulations. You're on a short list. But yeah, not a big college hoops guy, but I'll tell you what, I'll be paying attention this March. I'll be watching BYU with AJ DeBonsa. I'll be watching Kansas with Darren Peterson. I'll be watching Houston with Kingston Fleming. And I'll be watching who else will I be watching? It's like, well, oh, I'll obviously be watching Duke with Cam Boozer. Come on, Duke. I was a Duke fan as a kid, not anymore. But so let's get started. It's March. It's also my birthday month, and the Brooklyn Nets are still losing basketball games. They're 0-1 in March. We'll get into that shortly. I did want to start this episode by giving a big thanks to Edmund Subner, former Brooklyn Net, came on the show last week. We had a really fun episode. It's available on YouTube and all other podcast streaming platforms. I'm going to be dropping short clips eventually over the next few weeks. I just been lazy for the last week, but you'll get some new clips pretty soon. So when you get them, like them, repost them, engage, all that good stuff. And if you're not already, subscribe to Spenny and the Nets on YouTube, on Apple, Spotify, whichever your preferred streaming platform is. Follow me on Twitter at Spenny and Spen Harris, at Spen Harris, and the name of the account is Spenny and the Nets. And follow me on Instagram too while you're at it. Okay, we got 4 game breakdowns. We're going to get to all of them, and then we're going to end the show with a special guest. I'm not going to tell you who it is until the very end. We're going to start with the Nets loss on Sunday, 106-102 in Brooklyn at the Barclays Arena to the Cleveland Cavaliers, playing without Donovan Mitchell. Shout out to the usual co-host on this pod, Nick Shanman, was at the game, thoroughly enjoyed himself, and he texted me a little bit about this matchup. So let's get to it. I watched the game. For starters, Michael Porter Jr. finding his rhythm again, coming out of that cold streak. He still is a certified bucket. He finished with 26 points, 10 of 17 from the field, 5 of 8 from three, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals. Good to see MPJ getting it back a little bit. He was hitting the classic step back threes. The middies were falling for him, and underrated part of his game. He finishes around the rim. Like he's strong, and I don't remember him doing that as much in Denver. But that is a side of his game that I really enjoy. Is he's not just shooting threes. He's taking it to the rack. He's getting offensive boards. He's making his layups. But no, the story of this game wasn't Michael Porter Jr. There were 2 stories more or less, 3 if you want to count Nolan Traore. But I think we're used to Traore and his ability to get to the rim. He's been the quickest guy in almost every game I've watched him in. And it wasn't an amazing game for him. 17 points for Traore, 7 of 15 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3, 2 assists. He did have 3 turnovers. You'd like to see him get a few more assists, but overall, he has been the best rookie for the Brooklyn Nets over the past few months. Most consistent, really looks like he belongs at this point, and he looks like he's going to be a really good player in the future. His ability to beat guys off the dribble, his IQ's getting better. He's making better decisions as each game moves forward. And the one area he's not great in yet is the 3-point shot. I think that'll come. So, but again, this game was not about Nolan Traore. This game was about Danny Wolf. 23 points in 27 minutes, 7 of 13 from the field, 3 of 8 from 3-point range, 6 of 8 from the free throw line, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. He had a lot of moments in this game where whether he was scoring off the dribble from the perimeter and taking guys to the rack and finishing, whether he was passing it like 40, 30 feet to Zaire Williams on a perfect bounce pass, beating the defender, a little backdoor cut by Zaire for the layup. He looked like Nikola Jokic out there. He did. I mean, a little bit different. There are nuances to Danny Wolf's game that I don't think Jokic has, and there are nuances to Jokic's game that Danny Wolf definitely doesn't have yet. But the one thing I did notice was he's really when he's hitting his jump shot in terms of the 3-point shot, he's extremely dangerous. He can beat you off the dribble, he can hit the three, and he has very good vision for a power forward. And I've been texting a few people about this. He is better than Noah Clowney right now. Noah Clowney might have him beat with the 3-point shooting and maybe the defense. It's probably where Noah Clowney edges Danny Wolf out. But outside of that, Noah Clowney has a better post game than I'm sorry, Danny Wolf has a better post game than Noah Clowney. Danny Wolf has better vision, higher IQ than Noah Clowney. Even if Danny Wolf is not making shots, he's able to impact the game in other ways. Noah Clowney does not really have that ability yet. So that I don't know how hot of a take that is, but to me, Danny Wolf is a better player than Noah Clowney is right now. And we saw Noah Clowney do some really nice things in the beginning of the season, but these last few months, if he's not hitting his three, he's non-existent. And this game was a really good example of that. Clowney had 5 points in 23 minutes. He was a minus 13. That was the second worst on the team. Terrence Mann was a minus 21. 2 of 5 from the field, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 0 steals, 0 blocks. That's your starting power forward. Those are not great numbers. The other fun story in this game was Grant Nelson. 11 points in 20 minutes, 4 of 7 from the field, 3 of 4 from the free throw line. He did not attempt a three. He did have 4 rebounds, 3 blocks, 1 steal, 1 assist. The most important thing I noticed about Nelson is he looked like a legitimate NBA power forward in the sense of he looked like he belonged. And I saw someone talking about the guy from Florida, Thomas Howell, coming out. And someone said, how do people think this guy is going to be good in the NBA? How is he a legitimate NBA prospect? And I responded. I was like, go look at Grant Nelson's game from last night. Like, that is who Thomas, I think, Howell, I don't know how to say his name, but that's who the guy from Florida reminds me of. Is he's a lanky, big, he can hit the three, but he's got this new power forward can beat you off the dribble, right? We're talking about the Jaren Jacksons. We're talking about these, they're not as thick, and Danny Wolf's kind of thick, but Grant Nelson's a skinny guy, but he's muscular. He's a nuisance when he gets in the paint in terms of rebounding, and he can hit the three. And we didn't see that in this game, but he did a lot of really nice things. So shout out to Grant Nelson, shout out to Danny Wolf. They were really, really the story in this one for the Nets. And the fun thing about this game was the Nets did keep it close for the most part. Like, Cleveland ran away at the end and they beat them 106-102. All Danny Wolf needed to do, he needed to intentionally miss a free throw down 2, and that would have gave him a chance. He completely threw the ball off the backboard and it didn't touch rim, so it was a violation. So I don't know. That'll come with time. His first time being in that situation in the NBA, I get it. On the Cavaliers end, Harden was the high man with 22 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, a near triple-double for James Harden. And yeah, this was a fun game if you're the Nets. Like, you were able to hang in it despite the Cavs outshooting you 48% to 34% from 3. They did shoot 17 more free throws than the Nets, but again, enjoyable game. Nets kept it close. You saw a lot of nice things from the Nets. Now, the one thing I talked about Nolan Traore a little bit. I don't like the celebration where he smells his finger after he makes a three-pointer. Not a fan of that. If he can get rid of that and find a new celebration, that'd be awesome. But this whole with his finger in the nose, I hate it. I hate it. I got to call Ben Saraf out, unfortunately, and this is just because I don't miss Nets games, so it's silly for me to ignore this. He hasn't belonged on an NBA court right now for a while. He needs the most time in the G League, more so than any of these guys. Every time he's out there, he turns the ball over. Still has no consistent jumper. And most times when he's on the court, he is the 10th best player on the court most times he's out there. He needs to spend the rest of the season in the G League. He needs to really work on his game this offseason, because even though he's just a rookie, and I get it, right now, he's not showing me anything out there. He's not showing me any signs. He'll have the occasional open layup when he gets the spacing, but aside from that, that's not going to cut it in this league unless you're Bruce Brown and you do everything else. And the one thing you really can't do is shoot. That's different. But he's not Bruce Brown, and he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to stay in the NBA. The final thing I'll say, he didn't play tonight, or I guess on Sunday during the day, but when is Jaeger Joman going to join this party with Traore and Wolf? Like he hasn't had, it seems like a decent game in a while. So I'm waiting for him to step up and be a little bit more aggressive now that Traore has played himself into this point guard role. Jaeger has to learn how to play off the ball a little bit, and I'm ready for that. Like Jordy, I want you to try to figure it out before the end of the season. All right, that does it for Cavs Nets. We're gonna go fucking rewind. Apologies for swearing. It's been a long day. I'm not gonna apologize. Fuck that. All right. Nets lose on Tuesday against the Dallas Mavericks, 123-114. Dallas playing without Cooper Flag. Marvin Bagley Jr. I'm sorry, Marvin Bagley the third ends up going for 22 points. Najee Marshall adds 21. Brandon Williams with 19 on 9 of 11 from the field. 10 assists for Brandon Williams, and then Klay Thompson chipped in 17. It seems like the Mavs role players were able to get it done. MPJ, another 26 burger for the Nets. Good to see him, continuing to ball. This was one of the first games after the All-Star break where he's still, let's see, 9 of 16, so above 50%, 6 of 6 from the line. Yeah, strong game for Michael Porter Jr. Nick Claxton, 16 points in this one, 9 assists, 4 rebounds, Noah Clowney. And again, this is a game where if Clowney is making his shots, you can, see him there. Like he has a presence on the court. And when he's not making the shots, he disappears. But 22 points for Noah Clowney, 6 of 9 from the field, 4 of 5 from 3. He took 10 free throws. He was 6 of 10 from the free throw line. Yeah, those are pretty much your three stars on the Nets. And then Terrence Mann came in, gave the Nets some really good minutes, 17 points in 19 minutes of action. He had a stretch in that fourth quarter where the Mavs were trying to pull away, and he was single-handedly keeping the Nets in that game. So shout out to Terrence Mann. Nice to see him have a good game because who knows when he's going to get minutes consistently. None of the rookies really showed up in this one. Danny Wolf, 4 points. Jaeger Joman, 3 points. Traore had 8. 0 of 3 from 3, 4 of 11 from the field, 6 assists for him. And Drake Powell had 2 points in 21 minutes. So no one in double figures in terms of the rookies. This is more of a game for the vets. So shout out to MPJ. But this game wasn't super close. Dallas outscored him pretty significantly in the first half. Nets won that third quarter, but Dallas won the fourth quarter by 1. But yeah, not a bad loss if you're the Nets and you're looking to tank. Okay, we move on to Thursday, February 26th. The Nets lose to the San Antonio Spurs, 126-110. For the Nets, Michael Porter Jr., 25 points, 9 of 22 from the field, 3 of 9, 14 rebounds. He showed up in this matchup with Wemby. Day'Ron Sharpe, 14 points, 11 rebounds off the bench. Nice game for Day'Ron. He outscored starter Nick Claxton by 2 points. Danny Wolf came in off the bench. He had 14 points in 22 minutes, 4 of 8 from the field with 5 rebounds. The only Nets starter to not be in double figures, Traore had 13, Noah Clowney had 11, was Jaeger Joman. Jaeger Joman had 6 points, 2 of 3 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, 1 of 5 from the free throw line. He did have 9 assists. So this was a rare instance where even though the scoring wasn't there for Jaeger, he was dishing the ball nicely. So it was good to see that. San Antonio is just too much team for Brooklyn. I mean, anytime Castle or Wemby wanted, they were able to score. Even though Wemby only had 12 in this one, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Julian Champagnie was absolutely unconscious from the field. 10 of 14 for him, 6 of 9 from 3. He finished with a game-high 26 points. De'Aaron Fox chipped in 14, and Castle had 18 as well. Dylan Harper with 12 and 7 assists off the bench. Keldon Johnson with 13. The Spurs made absolute minced meat of the Nets in this one. And then finally, we have the Nets and the Celtics. This game was close. Just kidding. It was 148-111. That was the final score. The Celtics won by a billion. Hauser had 13. Jaylen Brown had 28. Derek White had 12. Nikola Vucevic had 28 points. Baylor Shireman had, I had to remember that guy's name. Baylor Shireman had 10, and Peyton Pritchard chipped in 22. Peyton Pritchard was a plus 40 in this game. So that just shows you how wide the margin was. Nobody over 20 points for the Nets. Michael Porter Jr. finished with 18. He was the high man. Danny Wolf did have 16 points in this one, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Nick Claxton with 12, Noah Clowney with 10. Outside of those guys, nobody else scored in double figures. Josh Minott, 9 points in his return against the Boston Celtics to Boston, 4 of 7 from the field. Did have a nasty throwdown in this one. But overall, like kind of the San Antonio game, Nets just completely outmatched by the Celtics. All right, we're going to get to the special guest in a second, but I'm a big Pardon My Take fan, and I listen to a lot of episodes. Big Cat, PFT, commenter, Hank, and Max, and memes, and all those guys. One of the most entertaining podcasts to listen to. National sports podcast for Barstool. Very funny, very funny. But I will say this: they disrespected the Nets a little bit. Hank, their longtime producer, and now he's the current host of the show. He referenced the Celtics 148-111 win against the Nets in a segment "Who's Back." I think it was the Who's Back, or I don't remember if it was Hot. I can't remember. Let's say it was Who's Back. Big Cat then joked he didn't know anybody on the roster except Nick Claxton. Okay, then he looked it up and he saw Danny Wolf, but he didn't know if he played or not. Well, Big Cat, Danny Wolf does play, and he's freaking awesome. All right, he's going to be good. And I know no one pays attention to the Nets right now. I get it. But learn these players because in a few years, you're gonna know these guys. Like no one knew who freaking Cason Wallace and fucking the second Jalen Williams were on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Nobody knew these guys, right? And then what happens? Fucking Aaron Wiggins. No one knew who Aaron Wiggins was. And then they win a championship. Okay? Danny Wolf on the Nets, good player. Remember that. Nolan Traore, the next Tony Parker. Remember that. Also, thought it was crazy. They asked Hank if he could name a single net, and when they asked him, he just didn't answer. He would change the subject, or he would name former Nets that aren't on the team. I'm not sure if that was a goof or not, but wouldn't you know who at least one player on the team is if you're a Celtics fan and you're watching the Celtics? Maybe you didn't watch that Celtics Nets game. It was a Friday night. I get it. But there has to be a Nets Celtics game you've watched this year if you're a Celtics fan. Did you even watch the Celtics games? Fraud hoops fan, if you ask me. All right, that was it. Okay, we're going to bring on this special guest. So this person is, I'll give her a bit of an introduction. She is a Nets fan, and she's also my roommate, and the mother of my dog, Homer. And, oh yeah, it's also my wife. So Victoria Lauren Shadman, welcome to Spenny and the Nets. I'm not sure if you've made an appearance. And for those watching on YouTube, she's not on the screen. She's just going to be talking via mic. So this is the only time where the people listening and the people watching, you guys have the same experience because you can't see her on YouTube. So Victoria, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Thanks for the great welcome. I really don't love that you started off with roommate, but it's okay. I'll forget about it.
Well, we are roommates. Is that true or false?
It's true.
All right.
I like to think we're more than roommates, but it's okay.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay. Let's talk some Brooklyn Nets. First off, why do you love this team?
I think there's just something so energetic when you go to a Nets game. The Nets might not be the greatest team. We all know that. But there's something about stepping into Barclays and just feeling the energy. These fans are so tried and true, they don't give up on their team. And I think that's what's so powerful about Nets fandom. And there's just nothing like it. We've been to a lot of sporting events together, and I think there's nothing like going to a Nets game. Do I wish Barclays was a little bit closer to where we live? Yeah. We'd probably go to a lot more games. But the games that we've been to, we've always had an amazing time, win or lose. And I think that that's like just always such a amazing, incredible, energetic environment.
Do you think that should be the message in sports? Doesn't matter if you win or lose as long as you have a fun experience at the game?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of Nets fans would disagree with you on that, but My next question is, who are some of your favorite Nets players of all time and why?
Ah, so my favorite Nets player of all time has to be Joe Harris. Honestly, I don't even know if he's a good player or not. He was just nice to look at. Um, Honestly, outside of him, I don't know if there's anyone else. It was exciting getting to see who was the three players at the time. It was Harden, um, uh, oh goodness, what's his name?
Kevin Durant,
Kevin Durant and um,
Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving. Yes, thank you. We did get to see them play together. And honestly, it was like a magical experience. And I also remember when you see some of these players like from above, like they are so tall. It has nothing to do with some of my favorite players, but that's just an observation.
Great observation. They are pretty tall to look at. All right. So, by the way, before we move on, a lot of people have told me that I have better hair than Joe Harris. Just saying. Have you heard that?
I have heard
Would
that.
you agree with those people?
Yeah, 100%.
I didn't say it. People and my wife slash roommate said I have better hair than Joe Harris. All right. What are some of your favorite chants when you go to the game?
I love when people go Brooklyn. It's just it just feels so badass.
It is pretty badass. Do you believe Sean Marks can build this team into a championship contender over the next few years?
I think so. I think if they get some good rookie talent and just keep building off that momentum that we can get there. I think it's going to take some time. I think it's going to take some like trial and error, but I think they can get there. And I think that, if they work as a team and they keep like putting other players in and just seeing how the dynamic is between the players, that they could get there. I don't want them to give up. I want them to get there. I think that Brooklyn Nets could be one of the better teams if they just keep trying.
All right, that's a fair analysis. Keep trying, trial and error, and in a few years, championship.
Yeah.
Okay. With the first pick in the draft, hypothetically, if the Nets were to get the first pick, are you taking AJ DeBonsa of BYU, Darren Peterson of Kansas, or Cameron Boozer of Duke?
Uh, I'm gonna say the guy from Duke.
No, no, the guy from BYU,
Oh, the guy from BYU.
AJ DeBonsa.
Yeah, Devonza.
Yep, yeah, I agree with you. AJ DeBonsa definitely is the guy that the Nets should take. That's a great opinion you had there all by yourself. All right. Um, Finally, a few more questions. Are there any recommendations you would give to the great people who attend Nets games at Barclays Arena in terms of, I don't know, where to eat?
Um, I don't know if this is like a trick question that you want me to give an answer to, like the last one, but I do remember, and I don't even know if the place still exists, but we went to this like Korean spot by Barclays. I want to say like now 7 or 8 years ago, and they had these kimchi fries that I still think about. And I know I probably don't mention them to you because we think about a lot of food from a lot of different places. But that was like one of the standout meals that we had um, right by Barclays.
That was really good. Okay, so for all those listening, 8 years ago, we had kimchi fries at a Korean restaurant around the block from the stadium. Sure, it's still open. Yeah, sounds good. And we don't have the name for the place, right? Why? Don't, they'll find it.
They'll
They'll
find it.
find it. Okay.
Just search
All right.
kimchi fries near Barclays.
Last question. How do you feel about the New York Knicks?
I fucking hate the Knicks so much. Like, just trash. I think they're trash. I think their fandom is fucking trash. I think that they're a shitty team. I think. Am I allowed to curse?
Yeah, you can fucking curse.
All right. Well, fuck the Knicks and fuck any fans of the Knicks because you know what? A lot of those fans used to be Brooklyn Nets fans, but then they left New Jersey, so now I have to be a Knicks fan. Well, you're a fucking loser because you know what? The people that are loyal stuck with the Nets and they moved over to Brooklyn with the Nets and they didn't go and jump over and be Knicks fans. So I think they're a bunch of losers.
She has a lot of points. The only thing I'll disagree with you is they didn't used to be Brooklyn Nets fans. They used to be New Jersey
New
Nets
Jersey
fans.
Nets,
Correct.
whatever.
But I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. Listen, It's like if we were dating and we lived in New Jersey and you had to move to New York for work, are we gonna break up? No, you're gonna make it work because you're in love with your team. And if you're not loyal to the team just because they move over like one city, right? How are you going to be loyal in a relationship? How can you be trustworthy? How can people trust that you're going to be there when times get tough? They can't because you left the New Jersey Nets to go root for the New York Knicks when you could have stuck with the Nets. And that's all my wife slash roommate is trying to say.
And mother of your son.
And mother of my dog son. All right. Well, that does it for this week's episode of Spenny and the Nets, episode 247. Victoria, do you have any final words for the listeners?
Let's go Nets, baby!
Let's go Nets, baby. All right, there you've had it. Bye-bye.